All right, welcome back for round two. It looks like our opponent has chosen to play first. It looks like we have another land-heavy hand here. If I knew they were on Jeskai, I would likely keep this hand. I know it's a bit land-heavy and it's a bit awkward, but we do have a Serum Visions to fix our draws. Remand is also pretty good. Remand's a bit worse in the blind on the draw, though. When we don't know what we're playing against, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to 6 and hope for a better hand. Yeah, this hand's super respectable. We'll keep it. Baral is pretty good, so we are going to put it on top. Alright, so it looks like they're living in. If they are, the nice thing is we have Remand to fight the namesake of the deck. The awkward thing is Fairy Macabre is very good against us. And we don't really have a way to play around it. Caleb Scherer has been a big advocate of Remand. Or not Remand, Peak, which kind of lets you play around the card. But we do have a bit more trouble playing around things. When we, can't look at their hand, and it costs 0 mana, and can be done at instant speed. So I think a lot of what we're going to have to do is kind of just play a little bit of chicken and insulate ourselves as much as possible while recognizing that we can also just get got. As awful as that may feel. Alright, so they cycle to Carabid. Alright, so at this point we know that they're not going to be living ending at this step because that requires green mana. Can't do like any Manamorphose shenanigans because that wouldn't work with Violent Outburst. You would just cascade into Manamorphose sometimes. I really would like to peer through depths here, but I don't think we have that luxury. I have a feeling they're trying to trick us here. They're going to try to like cycle or something. Oh no, they might actually just be doing it. Interesting. Well, if they have 2 Simian Spirit Guides, we get got. Okay. What are they cycling at sorcery speed for? Maybe they're trying to get us to tap out for something. I'm not really sure. But whatever's going on, I'm going to go ahead and peer through depths. And if we hit a very specific string of cards, we can win from here. These are not bad. We do need the Manamorphose if we're going to win. So I think taking Manamorphose is going to be in our best interest here. Noxious Revival and Past in Flames are both a little bit awkward if they have the Fairy Macabre, and then Gifts Ungiven is fine, but we need some stuff to kind of chain up to it, which Manamorphose falls under that umbrella, so we'll just take the Manamorphose. Alright, untap and draw. Alright, so let's try to hit a land. Perfect. That Grape Shot was actually pretty nice, but we need to keep holding up this Remand here. I might be playing a little bit too scared, but it's also possible our line is just going to be remanding our own Grape Shot, which would not be absurd, because we do have a few cantrips here, which means we can storm up to like 8 or something. Just looking at our hand, we could go 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7. So we could 12 them, potentially, just with our hand here. And that's not counting the 2 cards that these draw. They might just be trying to hit land drops. Tap land. Okay, well, they can't instant speed anything here other than like a Dismember maybe, because they don't have a green source available. All right, so we drew a land. We can do we want to go for it this turn? That is the question. I guess theoretically we could like shock Baral, or we could like sleight of hand and see how that looks. Yeah, let's see how our sleight of hand looks from here. Electromancer. That's not great. So we could pick up a Tarn. That is a life-free way to make mana because of their Urborg. We could tap it for black for Baral. So for the colorless, then the blue Ritual, Manamorphose. So we could have up to... We go to 3 mana, down to 1 mana, up to 3, up to 4. Then we could not cast the Electromancer. Let's see here. I'm not 100% sure what it is that we would need to hit. We would need to hit a spell, like a 1-drop spell. And then theoretically, if we did that, then we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could 16 them. So that's, no matter what, it's not enough to kill them. I guess the issue is next turn they could play land number 5 and Living In twice if we just play a thing. So I don't really like taking the Electromancer here. I think I just want to take the Scalding Tarn, play a Steam Vents, and pass. I really don't care for it. Either way, I don't think we have a very good line coming up. But if we can find like a Gifts Ungiven or something, we're in pretty good shape. Or if we can find another Grape Shot. We maybe should have played our Tarn to shuffle because we know we have a Grape Shot that a Sleight of Hand put on the bottom. No, it's a little bit tougher. It's also possible we're supposed to just let Living In resolve because we know we need to remand our own Grape Shot. I'm really just hoping they Street Wraith a bunch. It's worth noting that how Archfiend of Ifnir can kill our Baral at instant speed. Since they could like just discard Fairy Macabres or cycle cards. If they just cycle 3 things, they kill our Baral. Kind of in a pretty awkward place. We've drawn a couple too many lands. Not a couple too many, but like 1 too many. One of them we could have been an Electromancer instead, but we got a little choked because it was a land versus an Electromancer, which kind of just equates in a lot of ways to it being a not instant sorcery mana source, which you want like 3 to 4 lands and like 1 to 2 bears, but it's kind of a problem when both of those are on the higher end, when it's, 4 or 5 lands and then also 2 bears is when you start to have a bit of an issue, unless they're an interactive deck. If they're an interactive deck, then they'll be killing your bears and it's fine, but we're trying not to play our bears because we don't want them to Demonic Dread or anything. It just gives them another thing that they can... it just gives them another thing that they can combo with, more or less. Whereas right now they're kind of limited to Violent Outbursts. Soon they're going to get to the phase of the game where they can just start casting their big creatures. But I don't know if they want to be doing that. This is another situation. Okay, so this person actually disconnected. So that's not necessarily on them like it was our last opponent. Hopefully they return shortly. This is a really interesting game, and I'd like to see the natural conclusion of it. If we can just find, like, not even a ritual would be nice, I guess, but I think another Manamorphose is really what we're looking for, because a Manamorphose means that we net some mana. Okay, they're back. Cool. So Manamorphose means that we net some mana, and then we also get the chance of drawing another spell, which would be a really, really big game. One thing that's worthy of note is it might even be worth it just to go off as much as possible, grape shot them, remand our own grape shot, and hope to, if we're like one spell short or something, we could try to loot into the spell because we get to draw off the remand, and then we also, when we counter the original grape shot, we get to loot with Baral, which matters a not zero amount. Alright, so are they just casting big things now? Suspend a living end, sure. Alright. Something good. Sleight of hand is not bad. Alright, let's actually crack our fetch first. I'm just going to get... We're shuffling because we really want to find that. If we find that other grape shot, they're dead. 3 grape shots kills them pretty easily. We do need to... So we're going to have to cast 1, 2, at least 3 blue spells. So let's go ahead and we'll just grab our snow-covered island. We will lead on sleight of hand. Oh my goodness. Come on, deck. Be reasonable, please. Please. Don't think we want to pay more life or shuffle, so I guess we'll just take the basic island. So we can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get to draw 3 new cards. So if all of those are spells we can cast, we can kill them. Or if one of them is a grape shot, we can kill them. But we end up further away from our kill if it is not. I don't really think I'm comfortable with that. There's a chance I should maybe just be going for it here and crossing my fingers, but I really feel like they have Fairy Macabre, which means that our Past in Flames is kind of a brick. So they still have... This will put them down to 2 counters on the living end. Good grief. It's what, 4 cards in a row that were lands? Well, we couldn't really go off last turn, so I don't think we can go off this turn either. I'm just going to play another land. Kind of give us some more options. We're wanting to make sure we hit our lands in case the card we draw off of Manamorphose is something like a Gifts Ungiven. Next turn, we're probably going to try to go off either way, because if we tap out, it's not an enormous issue. We can remand this one, but if they do like a Violent Outburst or something, it just wraths their board when this one goes off. Or wait, it's a Maycast, isn't it? No, you have to cast it. Perfect. Yeah, so I think just trying to go off next turn is likely where we want to be. Alright, sleight of hand. Please be good. Okay. So we're actually pretty okay on mana at this point. So we go down to 2. We have 3 up to 5, 6. This will cost 3 mana, so down to 3. I think Serum Visions is probably the way to go. We probably just want the selection at this point. So I'm going to take the Serum Visions. I'm doing all of this before I cast the Baral, because we want to make sure we can properly respond to things. Oh, there's the Grape Shot. Cool. So top, bottom, island. We will cast this Baral. We will Desperate Ritual. We will Manamorphose. We will get a blue and a red. It doesn't really matter very much. We just need to be able to cast our first Grape Shot, and we win. As long as that's kind of the thing that means we will have enough mana to do everything. What are they doing? Violent Outburst. 7. Alright, so let's let them cascade. Alright, so they have a living end on the stack. 7, that would be 8 spells, so Grape Shot is 9, and then the other one is 10. So let's go ahead and we'll just remand this living end. Right? Or wait. Yeah, we have to remand this living end, because if this resolves and we just draw the other Grape Shot, we 8 them and then we 9 them, which is 1 point short. So I'm going to go ahead and... Or wait, we'll have 6 total mana, so we can just do it either way. No, we can't. Can we? No, we're just going to remand the living end. This is likely, quote-unquote, just better. I guess it didn't really matter either way. They're kind of just dead to rights, as long as we get to actually cast these Grape Shots. I was forgetting to add the mana from the Manamorphose. That was on me. Alright, so we are going to loot. We are going to discard Scalding Tarn. Oh, everything's super perfect. Wow. Sometimes lucky, right? So we will get a blue and we will get a red. We will Grape Shot them. We will... Same targets. So this is an example. I mean, we got lucky and drew the other Grape Shot, but this is an example of a game where Remand would have won if they had not cast the 2 additional spells. We would have had to remand our own Grape Shot to win, and that's how we would have won without a Past in Flames. We will loot, we will discard a Canal, and we will just Grape Shot them again. Alright, cool. So, against them, Swan Song is quite good. Their Graveyard Hate is basically Fairy Macabre. Their board cards of choice tends to be like Leyline of the Void. So Echoing Truth is quite good against us, or against them. And I don't like Empty the Warrens because they have all the main deck Wraths, basically, with the living end. They don't really have Leyline of Sanctity very often. They have it a non-zero amount of the time, but I don't think that's the reason to bring it in. Shattering Spree's not a huge issue. They can't really play Relic because they'll cascade into it. Same with Chalice. Chalice also isn't very good for them. There just aren't a whole lot of artifacts for us to worry about. From there, I also like bringing in pieces of the puzzle just because our gifts get a little bit weaker against them. So I'm going to cut those. I'm going to cut a Past in Flames. And then our bears get a decent amount worse, just because we don't want to turn on Demonic Dread. And then I'm cutting Electromancer because we're bringing in some more Swan Songs, so the loot from Baral is pretty relevant. And past that, Baral can also block Fulminator Mage, which comes up a not zero amount of the time. It's a really small thing, but the differences between the two are pretty small as it is. It's possible we should be bringing in the Goblin Electromancers because they attack for 1 more point of damage, but the attacking doesn't come up nearly as much as the blocking does. Not to mention Baral's a little bit easier for us to cast. You know, if we have like an island and they have their Urborg and play again, we could tap island plus fetch land, which did come up last game. We just didn't utilize it. I don't think we're comboing on turn 3 against them. This hand's a little bit shaky. Remand is quite good. We have a cantrip. We're on the draw though, so I think I want to try to just get a good hand. This hand's close. I think this hand's good because we have a Serum Visions on the draw, which is kind of what we got to do. But I'm feeling fine about it. Manamorphose, I think we just need to find the other land for now. So I'm going to bottom it. Leyline of the Void. There it is. So now we also need to find an Echoing Truth, or we need to do our usual style of going off. Did they keep a no land 7? Okay. There it is. Alright, so let's do this. We will fetch up a Steam Vents. We maybe should have just gotten a basic there, because sometimes they're a Blood Moon deck. We will put this on top and this on bottom. Don't really need pieces of the puzzle right now. We have a bunch of gas in our hands. Serum Visions just... Either way, we're drawing the card after the Serum Visions. But even if it's a land, we're not going to have a whole lot to do with it. At least on 2. The only things that we'd want to do are Swan Song or Peer Through Depths. But Swan Song is something we're going to want to hold up anyway, because that's the turn they hit 3 mana. So ideally, if it's a land anyway, we could cast the Serum Visions and just get the Library Manipulation out of there. Not out of there, but we can, go ahead and dedicate the mana towards it rather than wasting a mana. Alright, so it was not, but those are both lands, so we will top both of them. Hopefully they don't have the thing this turn. That would be super awkward. Uh-oh. There it is. Alright, so they got 12 power. We are in a rough spot of sorts. What are we gonna do? Alright. So let's go ahead and we'll just play Polluted Delta. We're gonna Peer Through Depths this turn. We're gonna shuffle away that land. We have a bunch of mana. We're just going to kind of play our cards in the most efficient order and hope it is enough to kill them. That's all we really can do. Are they Violent Outbursting? Slaughter Games? Well, we cannot counter that. Are they just naming Grape Shot? Yep, alright, well. We've conceded the game. Yeah, that was basically unbeatable. That was a one-lander for us. They had the turn 3 combo, they had a Leyline on 0, and they had a Slaughter Games on 4, so we kind of lost at every phase of the game there. I don't think there was a whole lot we could have done. But them having Slaughter Games means that we need to be on the Empty the Warrens plan, even if it doesn't feel great. I'm going to cut one more bear. That also means we're probably going to have to be attacking more. Maybe we're supposed to be shaving a Baral. Yeah, we'll shave a Baral here instead. Alright, so we will be on the play. This hand's fine. Not in love with it, but I'm not throwing it back either. Good grief. Double Leyline, you say? Alright, well, Past in Flames is not good. Electromancer's fine, we can put that on top. So we'll have this come into play tapped, and then next turn is when we're going to shock in a Steam Vents and play Electromancer. Ideally, they won't have, like, Spirit Guide, Outburst, plus Untapped Demonic Dread or something, but that's just not realistically beatable if they do have that, so we're just not gonna play around it. That's the short version. So we'll play our Electromancer out, have our Swan Song back, and hope that's good enough. I guess theoretically they could like Beast Within our Electromancer, but we're actually not that heartbroken if they do that. It just turns it into a better creature. And right now we're, as weird as it is, we're kind of on the beatdown plan. We're able to counter 2 of their 3 living ends. So I think that might just be our line here. Are they dismembering? Ceradon, sure. It just said they were paying costs for a long time, so I kind of assumed. Tapping Copperline Gorge, not tapping Gorge there was a little odd, but they might just be like Spirit Guide Outburst or something. Or not. Oh, they're doing it upkeep. Sure. Or not. So I don't want to attack, because then if they have it, then they can block our Electromancer with the Swan. I'm going to go ahead and just pieces of the puzzle and pass. Alright, now they're going for it. Sure. Alright, so Cascade. So there's another ley line in there. I guess that doesn't matter that much. There's 1 Fairy Macabre in the revealed cards, and that's about all that's super relevant. Alright, I mean, we're swan songing this either way. They get a 2/2. It is now a 3/2. We get pieces. We will take and empty the Warrens, and I think so. We go that, and we still have a Swan Song back. Maybe we just need the Desperate Ritual for a bigger storm, because then we can use Grape Shot to get this out of the way, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I think we're just going to want the Desperate Ritual, as weird as that is. I don't think the cantrips are super important to us right now. We kind of have the cards that we need. Or Desperate Ritual is also just one of the cards we're hoping to find with a cantrip. So, you know, if we take a Sleight of Hand over it, what is our Sleight of Hand doing? It's adding a Storm Count and eating a mana. But unless it hits a Pyretic or a Desperate Ritual, we just kind of look like a dummy. Living End in the Exile Zone. Sure. No attack for 2. What a chicken. Manamorphose. Okay. So, we can start the show. We will... If we don't want to splice here, I mean, we do want to splice, but we can't really splice, because we would have to use our Manamorphose to... We need to hold up this Swan Song to counter another living, and if they have it, so I don't think we're going to need all the mana anyway. We can just cast it normally, even if it doesn't feel very good. Do that. Do that. That. Blue. Blue. Alright, so that all is down to 6, down to 4, down to 3, so we still have 3 mana to play with. No, that can't be right. Down to 4. Yeah, or we have 7, so down to 5, down to 3, down to 2. So we have 2 mana to play with. Now we have 1 mana to play with. Well, I guess the Electromancer nets us a mana. So we need to have... So we go to 6, down to 4, down to 2, 1, 1. Okay, yeah, so we can do it all. 6. I'm just triple checking the math here. We need 2 blue, 1, 2, 3 red. All right. So we will do this. And we will do this and this. And we will do this and this. And I think it's going to be better to just Grape Shot the bird twice and then empty the warrens for 1 billion. Alright, same target, but now we're just going to click them for the rest of them. And empty. And we're doing all of this pre-combat, so now we can attack with the Electromancer. Alright. I believe we have got them. So that's it. Suspend 2 now. Archfiend of Ifnir is basically the thing we're afraid of. Got him! Alright, well, make sure and stick around for match number 3.